Alright, look what we got in today. Got a bunch of TIE fighter parts. So we can replace the terribly generic with a TIE fighter windshield. Now, unfortunately, these with the TIE fighter print on them go for like upwards of $30 a piece on both Bricklink and Brick Owl. So probably not going to do that. What I might do is try to find a 6x6 dish with the studs on the top and just pop this on the top so it has the TIE fighter print. Maybe something like this, and then just pop that other piece on the top here. And this doesn't really matter that it opens because there's nothing under it anyway that you can see, so I might just replace some of this with more bricks so I can just click a 6x6 dish on there and then just click this on top of the dish. Alright, so this step calls for a one stud block with the hollow stud on the side in black. Then I have searched all my parts over and over and over. There are none of those left. I guess we're going to substitute the same part in light bluish gray. It would have been nice if Vonado had included the correct part counts for those though, because I don't know if we're going to need these later on. Okay, this step is terrible. So they want you to put a little grippy piece into the back of the little lantern piece. But it has to be a very specific type of grippy piece. It won't fit in here. Like, what? Dude, that really does not... You have to break them to get them in there. Okay, yeah, don't do that step with the lantern. Just use a flat one stud plate and then put the lantern in front of it, because otherwise this may work good with genuine Lego, but if you're using China bricks, it's going to push this apart. This whole thing splits down the middle and it makes getting these on impossible. This one I was super frustrated getting on and everything kept falling apart. This one went on super easy because I replaced this first and everything just clicked into place. So yeah, if you're using China bricks, I would definitely not try to do that weird building trick. All right, so that is the perfect Lego tie Interceptor minifig scale. This is from Brick Vault. The designer was Jarek. I've got a little tie minifig there so you can see the scale. That looks kind of like the movies and shows. And show off some of this cool design here. This is done. This looks really cool. You can see here, you've got all the flat sides facing out from the panels, just like the real TIE Fighter wings. I will say, though, this is the most frustrated I have ever been building anything with Lego in the 3 months that I've been building Lego again. There are just some ultra frustrating parts of this build. So this is definitely not for kids and not for people without a lot of patience. I will also say there are certain times rebuilding this where everything will just fall apart on you if you touch it wrong. These wings want to fall apart until you get in here and you put in the supports on the inside and the supports on the outside. These things are what angle the top and bottom of the wings and keep them that way at the right angle. And it's also what stiffens the whole thing, and it's also what holds them together and keeps them from falling apart all over the place. So until you get that done, things are going to fall off all over the place, and it's frustrating. You can see there are spots where the spacing is not perfect. There are also parts in the instructions where I think I'm just going to say it, I think the order of build is absolutely idiotic. There are things like if you do this last like you're supposed to, this thing's just flapping all over the place where you're trying to put this wing together, and it's frustrating. So you'll see I skipped ahead and did that. And then I skipped ahead too far and copied this for the bottom and then was missing a piece and grabbed a Lego piece. So there's a Lego piece here. But I wasn't really missing a piece because you don't need that one stud plate. On the bottom there's actually, let's see if I can pick it up. There's actually one of the little, I don't know what you call those, I call them grabby things, but there's one of those instead of the one studs. That little hand piece clamp thing, that is what it rests on when you set it on a surface. So this is what's angling it back far enough to keep it from just splatting forward. It's not super stable, so if you touch it too hard, it's going to fall forward and possibly knock off some of the greebling stuff. This on the top does not actually, like on the official sets, this doesn't open to anything, so you can't use that to get a minifigure in there. I'm going to say once you get this all together, there is A, pretty much no way to get a minifigure in there without taking it partly apart, and B, almost no point. You can't see far enough in there to tell that there's not a minifigure in there. It's just too dark inside. You can't tell there's not a minifigure already. So I'm not going to waste any of my little TIE Pilot figures sticking them in there because you can't even see them in there. So just for size reference, so this is minifig scale. So we've got our little TIE Pilot there. This is the current TIE set that's out in stores now as of what is this, the end of March 2021. You can see it's the cockpit isn't bad. It's nothing. This is really cool the way it's all rounded. It looks way more like a real TIE cockpit. This is obviously, Lego. And the only thing with this is the wings are just too small. So the cockpit size isn't bad, but the wings just need to be bigger. And then obviously the struts need to be a little bit longer. And then compare it, all of those, to the TIE Advanced prototype. So yeah, I mean, overall, I'm happy with the way it looks. This is clearly a display piece. There's a lot of stuff on here that falls off or messes up if you touch it too hard. There's a a 6x6 plate on the bottom. Yeah, see, if you touch it a little bit, it falls forward. There's a 6x6 plate on the bottom that likes to fall off when you pick this up. The laser cannons get all out of whack all the time, as does the cockpit window. So you got to be really careful with that. But as a display piece, that's really, really cool. There's a lot of little details in there. So if you go to Brick Vault, they have the plans for $16. If you go to Vonado.com, and I'll put a link in the description below, this cost 30 something, I think. It'll be in the link, but this was like $30 for all the bricks. And unlike Lego, where you might have a couple extra parts, this is all of the extra parts I have from this set. Plus, I broke a couple trying to do the weird stuff they wanted with the horizontal grabby hand thing, which I didn't end up doing. But there's a lot of extra parts in here, so that's pretty cool. Would I buy another MOC? Well, I already did. I've got the X-Wing, perfect minifigure size X-Wing. I think that's also Jirok. I'm not sure. But I'm going to build that, and we'll see how that goes. Like I said, there's just some very, very frustrating parts putting this together. It looks nice once you get it all together, but you got to realize a lot of this stuff is held on by just a couple of studs for the entire thing. If you were to drop this even a couple inches, it's going to explode. Perfect minifig scale TIE Interceptor. Thanks for joining me here again. If you don't mind, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and we'll see you here next time on 7 Star Off Topic. So quick addendum. I remember we had some support struts from an old monorail set for my stepson's old Legos. So I stuck that thing on the upside down 6x6 dish and put a couple plates on the bottom and a brick for stability, and look at that. It wobbles, but you can pound on the table and it won't fall over. Pretty cool.